Hello, welcome, chat. I am live. I didn't realize I was live. I'm live, and we already have the two very special guests with us today, and I'm going to reveal them in five, four, three, two, and one. Welcome, sir and ma'am. How are you guys? Hello.
Good. Hi.
Thank you.
Hello. That's a very strange dartboard right in the center between you guys. What is the story of the dartboard? Can you tell us before we begin?
Well, at some point I thought I should practice my darts. And this was actually in Spain.
Was
So
it?
quite a
But
long time back.
wow.
Yeah. And then we brought it back. And I haven't really been practicing recently, even during the pandemic.
Oh, for a second I thought it was Akhil's, and then I didn't know it was yours. But that's
This
epic.
was part of the World Championship preparation.
To gain focus.
Focus, exactly.
But so lovely to have both of you guys here. Chat, if you don't know yet, they've made a graphy together. It's a very beautiful trailer. I saw everything, guys. I have backend access. You will see everything one by one. So first of all, how was the experience? Because ma'am, you have been with ma'am since long time. She's always been there as your wife. For the first time, she is your student. So how is the experience there?
Well, just to show you how repetitive opening theory is, we played a game many years ago in Spain. And just by imitating the kind of moves we make on the board, she made about 15 legal moves.
Wow. And all correct?
All legal moves. And nothing really got lost. I mean, she was careful to put the bishop and pawn and everything next to each other, so they all supported each other, kind of thing. And it just shows you how many times we play the Rilopers, because he goes bishop b5, bishop a4, bishop d3, knight c3,
Yeah.
you can't lose a pawn because all your pieces are sticking together, no? And on move 15, she offered me a draw.
You offered me.
And did you take it?
She offered me a draw, but I was smart enough to recognize that this was not an offer you could refuse.
You told me if you want a draw, I will accept it now. Then I offered.
Then you offered a draw. Okay. Well, then I made
You made the right
myself an
decision.
offer I couldn't refuse. Something like that.
That's so lovely. So it was it's very fascinating how, since you obviously teach a lot of people, right? But when you're teaching someone, like for example, if I were to learn under your guidance, I'd be very overwhelmed. Oh my God, Vishy Anand is going to teach me. But here the equation is completely not like that. So how are you dealing with teaching her? Like if you're teaching her something and she's not getting it, how is that communication happening? Like,
We'll find out. I mean, she, like I mentioned, she studied the rules once. As she mentioned, her brother gave her the introductory course. And then by observing us, she picked up just a lot of stuff. I mean, you don't even need to know the rules of chess and oh my God, that Berlin again, this sort of thing. And the Sveshnikov came up, and so I think she's figured out a lot, but she's not sure of everything. Like sometimes she'll want to make a move and then suddenly she'll hesitate as if she's embarrassed, then maybe she doesn't know. So, I mean, she's simply been around too many tournaments and seen this stuff too often not to know. And besides that, I think she picks it up quite well. But anyway, now is the first time we're going to go through all the rules systematically.
are you going from the exact beginnings? Like, because we want to know, the audience wants to know at what level, if even they want to learn along you guys. So for what level do you think it is? Like, are you teaching her from the exact basics, like the rook, the pawn, everything?
Yeah, well, very much that's what we did in the first graphy, and that's very much, I mean, we're trying to imagine what a couple sitting there is, where one partner knows how to play chess, and how he or she could go about teaching.
So I think a
partners.
lot more than no chess. I think we should.
So that's the kind of setup. We're also trying to put ourselves in their position and get some questions in. And the problem with Aruna is she knows a lot, but she's not completely, because she doesn't play that often, she's not completely sure of the details. So it's a good, we're brushing up for her as well.
That's great. Ma'am, how have you been enjoying the courses? Because I myself am a student of Sagar Shah. He's been teaching me since the last 8 months, and it's very difficult. Chess is a very difficult game. How are you dealing with it? Like, what is going on in your head while you're learning these moves?
Actually, I didn't think I would enjoy it so much, but it was nice because okay, it was not like a chess class, because many moments you would reminiscence about certain memories that you've had associated with a certain piece or a certain game or a like a Sveshnikov. So it's also nice to like jog down your memory and say, yeah, I remember this and I remember that. So it's been a very, very nice experience.
Yeah, ma'am, you're always, changing, adapting to new things. I wanted to ask you this, like when when you guys, first married. I mean, did you think the future would be like this? Did you plan it like this? What was the decision that you were making? Because you were going to, marry such a great chess player, and you were kind of signing up for the life of traveling the world, going to his tournaments, going everywhere. So, was that a decision that you had made right when you guys married?
Not at all. I think, like I always tease Anand. I think the way he plays chess so quickly. I think his mother asked him, "Do you want to marry this girl?" He just said yes, and he
Pre-move.
moved on. Or it was maybe intuition because he's also a very good intuitive player. But I think both of us we didn't really invest time and think how our marriage would turn out. Maybe that was the best decision to
Yeah.
just like plunge right in and see what happens.
Samay is so brainwashed, he called it a pre-move. This is Samay, pre-moves are not normal. They're not normal. Making a move before your opponent, that's like me accepting a proposal from her when it hasn't come yet or something. Because I think it's going to come. Pre-moves are not normal, Samay. This was just a fast one.
Yeah, this was one correct pre-move that you guys made. That you guys,
Looking back, yes, it can be a pre-move.
yeah, but it's so beautiful. Like how, because when I was reading about both of you, especially you, Aruna ma'am, because I wanted to know how did this transition happen. Many people don't know this, that you're also the manager of sir, and how did that transition happen from a soulmate to a manager who's doing all the calculations, all the shows, all the booking, all the events. How did that happen? Like what led to that?
I think if you had watched the Graphy, you would have found out how I got this job. Because when we were like kind of newly married, we would go for these tournaments, come back, and would put the clothes in the laundry. And many times I would pick out pieces of paper neatly folded into eight from one of Anand's pant pockets or shirt pockets, and sometimes it would even go to the law, for dry cleaning in the jacket pocket. And they would be important contracts. And so, like one day I asked him, I found this piece of paper in the washing machine. Are you sure this is the right place it should be in? At once, for the first 5 minutes, he didn't know what I was talking about. Then he said, "Oh, this is the paper I've been searching for the last 1 week." So I think at that moment we realized that maybe I should be the manager and deal with these things. For the only reason that I don't put important pieces of paper with the laundry basket.
Oh man, that's incredible. That's incredible, guys. If you have not watched the Graphy yet, you can check it out. Mods, if you're there, please spam the link in the chat. And Graphy has been doing a lot of stuff with a lot of chess players. This is one of the most exciting ones. Even the tweet that you had shared, it got viral. Everybody was just, the entire idea itself. The trailer is so cute. It's so nice. Even that joke where you go, between you and me, she took twice the time here. So I like, are there more jokes in this, or is it like a proper serious session, or is it like some fun is added?
No, some fun is added. I mean, I think one of the biggest problems is when you get too serious when you're trying to teach chess. I think you can vouch for this yourself.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to put people at ease while you're doing this. And so, I mean, that's not, like I said, Aruna has been around for much too long in the chess world. But I mean that we're also trying to get people comfortable with the idea that learning chess can be fun and it shouldn't be taken very seriously. And forget about the rules and all, and just play around a bit, and you'll get the hang of it. That's sort of that's the vibe you want to create. That hopefully then it just becomes an enjoyable activity that more people take up at home.
Yeah, which is great. So many brands are coming in now promoting chess, helping chess. I think it's a trend that has happened because of COVID. Like, no matter how bad it is to say, but COVID has actually helped chess, don't you think? Like, in a way that more people know of the game now, more people are playing it. There are so many millions of new followers. Queen's Gambit released. So many things happened in the lockdown. I think lockdown was a blessing for chess. Only talking about chess, not only talking about the damage that it has done. But don't you think that COVID has changed chess for the better?
Yes, or maybe chess was in the right place at the right time, so to speak. In a sense, our audience was already largely online. And so all that happened was for a lot of chess activity for chess players to become comfortable with the playing end to come online. And also the streaming, you mentioned Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Lots of trends connected at the same time, and none of them seem to have been bad for chess. So it's true. I mean, I don't really want to go around boasting that COVID was wonderful, but yes, it's worked out well for us.
Thank you, COVID. Shout out to you. But it's crazy how things worked out in 2020. But one thing that I really wanted to ask you personally is that you're staying home a lot now because of you're playing online tournaments, but of course you miss over the board tournaments. However, do you enjoy this time that you're spending at home just chilling during the day and then playing a tournament and then just opening a door and going back? So it's a trade-off between the feel of over the board versus the comfort of staying at home. So how is it going for you? What are you enjoying more? Are you enjoying this phase more?
No, in fact, for me, a lot of my natural cues happen over the board chess. You leave your room, then you go into the lift, you go to the lobby, then you either walk to the hall or get into a car. You arrive there, you see the other participants, the clocks are there, the boards are set. There are a lot of cues to get ready. At home, you don't have any of those cues. So playing is not completely natural. But on the other hand, I can honestly say that after being 6 months and 1 week now,
wow, you remember.
At home, I'm amazed that I could be home for so long. I always assumed after 2 months I would go crazy, trying to get out of the house. But in fact, I've adjusted to staying home quite a lot. And if you could meet a few more people and so on, it wouldn't even feel too bad.
So you're eating well.
Playing at home was quite difficult for all of us at home, because first of all, we are not used to seeing Anand play chess in his night clothes. He's wearing this formal shirt on top, and underneath he's wearing these work from home shorts. And the other thing was, like before a game, normally he has a snack, like either a sandwich or some chocolates. We realized after some time Akhil was creeping into the room and stealing all the chocolates and the sandwiches. So we had to kind of explain to him that daddy has work to do. He's not just taking a computer and playing video games all the time. And I think Anand had one bad day, and so I told Akhil, you have to keep very quiet. I had a bad day. So Akhil comes into the room. You should not have a bad day. Just look at how I play. You should give checkmate up. It's very easy. Don't be sad. We are here for you. So, okay, moments like these are very nice. But as a family, it is very difficult. You can't have the pressure cooker on when he's playing. You have to tell Akhil you can't download, too many games because dad's internet might go. So, it does put a little pressure on the family, I should say.
Yeah. So that you mentioned about, like for example, if Anand has a bad day, how is the environment in the home that day? Because in a tournament he's in his own space, he can figure it out. But at home, right, he opens the door and he has had a bad day. So how is the environment?
I think it is the other way around. Like if you're in a tournament, you're primarily cut off from the family. Whereas if you're at home, somehow this normalcy of being in the house kind of takes over. So even if you're sad, you can be upset, but tomorrow you have to wake up at 7 o'clock because the child has to get to online school and he has to have his breakfast. So you understand that, the humdrum of life takes over, and maybe that is the best way to forget a, painful memory. Whereas if you are miles away in a tournament, you're sitting in a hotel room all by yourself. Okay, you can text me, you can WhatsApp me, but it's not the same.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think once you see that for Akhil thinks my online chess is a lark compared to his online school, which is really, it's really something. Yeah, it's really something. For me, it's party time. And so then when someone refuses to take you seriously, you also just doesn't get into that vibe. So, well.
No, I'm sure he realizes what his dad is doing. And that leads me to the next question. Like Akhil, like he's playing some chess, right? He's taking some coaching. So how did he get into chess? Like, was it one of those decisions like, my parents wanted me to become, an IITian, so they did everything. So was it one of those things, or how is he getting into chess?
Not at all, actually. In fact, he has lots of interest. In fact, he loves to dance. He dances quite well. He sings very well. Completely self-taught. But I think there's so much of chess at home because, we own 30 chess sets, and, it's there everywhere. All our, most of our pillowcases are black and white, and our sofa cushions are black and white. So I guess it's just there in the air. And according to him, he sees it as a very linear path. I start playing, I become a grandmaster, I become world champion, and then what? So I think it's also this childish innocence.
Yeah.
But truth be told, he doesn't like Anand coming and showing him how to play, because for Akhil, it is more important what the chess master has told him. So he'll say, no, Pa, the chess master has told me only this, and only this works, and I don't care who the hell you are. So that's cute to watch.
Yeah.
And if he's playing, sometimes when Anand will try to go into the room and see what he's doing, he'll just turn around and say, Appa, can you please leave? And then, you don't mess with him.
Wow. That's such a sweet, nice family, guys. And I miss home. I just came to Pune now. I left my parents. I just miss all that loveliness. How I started playing chess was something like this, where my dad had gifted me a computer, and I would be playing all kind of games in it. And he would come to the room and he would get pissed, like, "What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? This is the time you prepare for IIT." And I used to always get scolded. So one day what happened is he came into the room, and I just opened chess on my PC, and he came and like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing chess." He's like, "Oh wow, that's good, that's great."
That's what I hope my son is doing in the next room.
That's amazing. Let's know. I have a quick a test for Aruna. Let's see how well you know Anand's chess. All right. Let's do it. It's a simple test. Okay. What is Vishy sir's favorite opening?
E4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Awesome. Who is Vishy sir's favorite chess player?
Fisher and Tal.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Which is Vishy sir's most memorable game?
This is a tough one. I think the game against Lothier in Biel, 1997, would be the most memorable.
Absolutely.
Wow. I saw your game against Aronian. That was
I can say 2013.
That is my favorite Anand game. But yeah, you're doing very well. Okay, let me ask you a difficult one. Who was more nervous before the Graphy shoot?
I think both of us were quite relaxed, actually, because the chess part, Anand was going to say it in his sleep. And if you ask me to talk, I can just keep talking. It's not a problem. So I think it was a perfect, it was a match made in heaven.
Yeah. You never had any camera consciousness or anything like that?
Not really.
That's great.
Although the team was also very, very sweet. So kind of they made us feel comfortable very quickly.
Guys, as you can see, if you want any questions to be asked, you can go ahead in the chat. You can let us know. Okay, all hearts in chat. Beautiful. Any questions you have, we will ask. Just let us know. This is amazing. Thank you, Graphy. Drishtiji, thank you so much for being here. Abhi maza aayega. Beautiful. At home, Akhil is alpha and Anand is beta.
What does that make me, gamma?
But yeah, Chad is saying, Samay, I don't think they, but you are the most nervous. Yeah, that's true. I am interviewing one of the strongest, biggest, beautiful couple in the country. Of course, I am nervous. But yeah, coming back to my questions to you guys. Do you think, guys, that chess can become an esports? This is something I would like to ask Vishy sir. Now the trend is coming, so like there are companies who are signing up chess players, like TSM signed up, Hikaru. So this trend is coming. So do you think something like that can happen in India, or do we have to push more towards it? How do you see the future of online chess?
I mean, what exactly is an esport?
It's like a company that will hire like pay a monthly stipend to a chess player, take him, and then have events around him, do a lot of shows, do a lot of grand scheme, call more players, do tournaments, stuff like that.
Okay, I mean, esports, basically I understand a lot of things like video games and
Yeah,
things like that, and sports
internet
like
sports
that.
basically.
I think, yeah, internet sports. I think chess already was an esport in the sense that it could be played online and can be watched online, and so all the elements are there. And definitely some new arrangements will turn up. You'll have to solve some practical problems. Things like, I mean, we saw with the big tournaments they organize, you have problems with arbiters, you have problems with internet lag, so you have all sorts of new
Yeah,
issues
yeah,
to take care of. But once these get ironed out, it's a very natural environment for chess.
yeah.
So definitely at least part of it. And this year, I think, highlighted it.
Yeah, this year it was so amazing. We had so many people watching chess. I mean, this was I used to always enjoy playing chess, but none of my friends would understand it. They would be like, "Okay, kya chess khela? What are you playing chess?" And now suddenly everyone's playing chess. It has become such a spectator sport. Especially the fact that we see the bar, right? We don't understand the move. We just see the bar go up and down. It's like oh my god, the bar is going up, it's going down. That's what excites us, and I think that's what is leading to so many people watching it. Therefore so many brands coming on board, and maybe we'll have more people, more big brands coming, having esport leagues. A lot of things can be done with online chess. However, once COVID goes away, this over the board is going to come back. It has to come back. So how do you think this will affect? Do you think it will affect all this chess boom in any way? Do you think that will happen?
No, why should it? Essentially, there was already a kind of proportion between over the board and online. I think online will be a bigger portion of the pie in any future, even when over the board comes back.
Yeah.
No, but I can't see that. I can't see things will go back to exactly where they were because too many people have got used to this arrangement.
Yeah.
But we'll have a normal situation, and I think these things feed off each other. Essentially, what was a nice thing with so many people watching chess online is you thought a lot of people. I mean, my attitude was a lot of people who probably know you from comedy were being introduced to chess for the first time, and so the audience was growing. That's likely to happen again with people who play other kinds of e-games, and they may discover chess, and there's some exchange of interests. But I can't see that over-the-board chess has to be detrimental to anything. In fact, we also miss some aspects of that. So I think it's nice to have both.
I mean, yeah. Like it's definitely more fun for you guys to play. So we'll do something. We'll arrange. We'll have the DGT board PGNs. We will be and hosting them. We'll be streaming them. I'm very excited. I have no idea, honestly, both of you guys, how I start streaming chess, and I just fell in love with it. I just love chess. I have downloaded all books. I have bought so many books. I have got gifted so many books, and I'm just blundering every day. And one day I hope my dream is to become 2000. So I would like to ask you this: what do you think Aruna ma'am's rating will be after this entire session with you? Honestly, I want the honest answer.
It depends how much he plays. I mean, you'll have to play to get rating. So the funny thing is, being with me for so many years, she can hardly not have noticed a lot of details about chess. But maybe now I'll put it a bit more systematically.
Yeah.
But like I said, she has an incredible amount of background information, and I know that And I know that she evaluates the position quite well just by watching our faces. She doesn't need to look at the board. No, because she's suffered so much that by now it's just an art. So I think she'll pick it up quite fast.
This is hilarious. She doesn't
After
use...
that, well, it's difficult, but you have to put in the hours. That's all.
Yeah. It's,
You have to play a lot to
this
push your
should be a
rating up.
t-shirt. Aruna ma'am does not use evaluation bar. She uses expressions of faces to analyze the position.
Yeah.
No, I also use this up and down bar going up and down.
High five. We are both.
But sometimes, like, the computer will suggest a move and Anand will play something else. And I'm thinking, why can't you just play what the computer says? And, life will be easier. That bar is going up, just do that. And then, like, he'll explain to me that, that was a more complicated win. It was a computer win and this was a human win. And, it's very difficult. And, at 12 o'clock in the night, you just want to know the result and go to sleep and you're trying to do all these things.
Do you get nervous when he's playing? Do you get, anxious?
Yes, almost, I would say almost every game, because there would always be one critical moment in every game. And, and now when you see this bar going up and down and it's like suddenly one move and it goes all the way down and you're like thinking, oh my God, another night spoiled now.
Another night spoiled. But yeah, that's how even we see the, games. We just see the bar and there's so many emotions through
So
it.
you'll have to appreciate me. When I was newly married, we didn't have all this bar going up and down. I had to completely rely on female intuition and watching his face. So I think that's where the credit is. Not that I'll pick up so much chess and get to 2000, that I could do it even without computer support.
Yeah. Back in the day when there were no computers, guys. Let's go back to those days. Anand sir, aapka to we know a lot, about how you played chess, how you became the world champion and everything. We want to know, Aruna ma'am, how was your childhood? What were your passion? What was your, dreams? I know very little about your childhood. So if you could tell us something about, how it was.
It was just a very normal childhood. Like I had
Something
my
you would want to
my
become.
education in Chennai, and I was very interested in dance. I used to dance quite a lot. I was very interested in art. I paint, pottery, those kind of things. And I was quite rebellious when I was young, actually.
In terms of?
My parents were actually quite scared of me because I used to have all these rebellious streaks in me. Like I would, decide to do something and just go ahead and do it and not really wait for anyone to tell me it's good or bad. So then I went on to do my post-graduation in advertising and I worked for some time. And then my parents phoned me this match and said, you have to marry him.
How was your first reaction, honestly, when you looked at Mr. Anand?
Actually, at that point, I told my parents, I'm so young. Why do you want to get me married? And they said, no, you're so old, man. Look at your friends; they're all married. They all have children, and you're not even married, and you're not started looking for you. How will you get married? And then, like Anand came home, the first time, this traditional boy-girl scene. And my mother served him coffee. And, as a matter of courtesy, asked Anand, would you like another cup of coffee? Normally we say, no, it's okay. Yeah. Anand said, no, I would like another cup. So like moment that happened, I saw my mother's face and I knew that this cup of coffee had sealed my marriage. This was the deal maker. Immediately I was summoned to the kitchen and I was told, you have to like this boy. And then I have to like the boy because he drinks coffee. That is not the point. You have to like him. I like him, and chapter closed.
Wow.
But truth be told, Arun had just come off the match against Kasparov then, and so kind of his face and name was just everywhere at that point because that was a big breakthrough for an Indian at that point in international sport. But he was just so humble.
Yeah.
Like if he had lived next door to me, I might not even have known that he's living next door. He was just so simple and so humble, and I remember I asked him some questions and he explained to me round robin format and Swiss format, and I had no idea what is he telling me. Why should I marry him because he's talking to me about round robin and Swiss format? And then he asked me some questions about my job and stuff like that. But it was I think it was something that somebody, so cerebral, so famous could actually be so humble
So
and
humble.
ask for another cup of coffee, to put
Yeah.
it mildly.
Sir, honestly tell me.
She thought I was humble. I thought she was quiet. And then we woke up one morning
And we were married.
and we were married. So
Sir, but honestly tell me, when you were at her house, when you were drinking that cup of coffee, were you thinking of any chess position?
Tell the truth, okay?
no, of course
Yes,
not. I
yes, yes.
mean,
I feel.
at that point, I really wanted to beg from chess also. No, I think I probably asked for a coffee because it allowed me to have something instead of having to think of something to say. I could pretend to be busy with the coffee, and it kind of kept.
Maybe you forgot that you had the first coffee.
Or that I forgot I had the first coffee. So,
but my mother was so impressed, because in the south for us our filter coffee is like very sacred. So, and that someone comes and asks for another cup is like,
Yeah.
just, my mother just blew her mind.
Same. My parents are also like that. They're like, they just want me to eat as much as I want, as they can feed me. Like, they're like, eat it, otherwise it'll get wasted. I'm like, it's anyway getting wasted. Don't feed me. Don't overfeed me. They're just happy feeding me. So that's, I think, so many people are like that. But you like, I want to also mention this, that sir, you are one of the most humble people I've ever met. Like, I used to read about you in my books and everything. I am so overwhelmed by every time I look at you, I am talking to you. I'm like, oh my God, am I really talking to Mr. Viswanathan Anand? It is so beautiful that you're so humble. You have played so many world championship matches. First of all, I will not make you awkward by asking you how are you so humble, because there's no answer to it, or you're just a humble guy. So I'll just ask you, you have played so many world championship matches, right? And so much pressure. Like, I don't know, I was obviously under so much pressure. I hope the match goes well. But how is playing a world championship match different from playing any other high stakes match? Like, what are you thinking at that time? How is the pressure? How are you maintaining that pressure? Because I think you've played a lot of world championship matches.
Well, correct. I mean, in some sense, you can ask, it's just a chess game. So what is so different about it? I think it's just the amount of thinking you do about it. You yourself know that in your daily life, if you keep on thinking about something you're going to do, then your brain will eventually come up with enough problems, and you'll think of those and what can go right and what can go wrong, all that. Now, think for a match. Because there's a huge workload, you sit and do this for a couple of months. You know your opponent is doing it to you. You know you had a lot of time to think about him. He had a lot of time to think about you. And so when you finally get around to playing, you just think, you overthink it. Maybe it's overthinking, but there's a lot of what if I did this, but he had so much time. You're second guessing a bit more. In tournaments, you'll just say, okay, I'll gamble, what the hell, let's see. Here, you don't feel like you have the luxury for that. But the good thing about matches is you're dropped into it, and then you can't escape, and you can only escape in the end. And so, I mean, it's harder. If every morning I had an option to go or not go, it would be much harder.
Yeah.
But once the match starts, you know that you just have to finish it, and you play it. So in a way, once you are in that pressure, you get used to it. By the fifth or sixth game, it's unpleasant. I mean, every night you'll go to sleep quite tired and all that, but somehow you get out of it. What can I say?
It must be so much pressure. I can't even imagine, when you just click that clock and you have just started the match and it is just heartbeat. I am pretty sure you have very good control of your nerves. But I was just recently playing a tournament which is nothing compared to what you were playing, but just an example. And it was the semi-finals, and I had to win. And it was an opponent that is very arrogant. So I wanted to crush him. And I was so nervous from the moment it started. I started playing completely solidly, making blunders. It was too much for me to handle. So, any advice that you would give for upcoming chess players? So many people want to now pursue chess, to handle pressure. How do you handle pressure? Time. I lost on time. Time just ran out. So, how do you? What advice would you give?
Well, two things. One is things almost never work out as badly as you are afraid. There will be enough problems that happen without you worrying about more things. So, but that is something you have to feel from inside. But maybe if you know it's waiting, then you'll get there faster. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
And no, but really, very often I go to a game and you do it yourself. You think of all the things that could happen, and then you try to come up with a clever, very artificial decision. Sometimes if you just trusted yourself and said, I'll deal with the problems that I face, it never goes badly. And the second thing, which is maybe something much more intuitive, you should remind yourself your opponent is suffering as much as you are.
Yeah.
You know,
that
you could have just looked at your opponent and said, he's going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Come on, take a deep breath, and it should be fine.
Yeah, my opponent blundered on moves 9 and I could not just see it because I was thinking, oh my god, he's too confident and stuff like that. But yeah, that's true. I don't know. First of all, thank you so much, guys, again for coming. I'm having a lot of fun talking to you guys. So many audience questions. I'll just look at it if there's any question in the audience. There's one. What is the lifestyle of a chess player on a tournament day? Okay, this is an interesting question.
It revolves around the game and it revolves around the schedule. So the nice ones are the tournaments where you get a bit of time on both sides. So I mean, like I can say, the game starts at 1:00 and finishes by 4:30 to 6, somewhere in that period. So you know that you have some time in the evening to let off steam, have a nice dinner, maybe a walk around the town, and a little bit of work, you can go to sleep. Next morning you wake up, but that's harder. Already in the morning, till the game is finished, you can't relax. So the tension is only going up.
Yeah.
But you take a short walk. The only time you get to indulge yourself is in the evenings after your bedtime, and then you're supposed to sleep at 11, but you can sit and distract yourself 11:30, 11:45, and then fall asleep. It's easier in the evening because also you have permission to let go of it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just a lot of tension and getting ready and all that. There are tournaments where the game starts at 5 in the evening and all. Those are not very nice because all the time is in the morning. And so though you have more time, to worry. So I prefer the evening control. In fact, there are players, mostly young players, who are able to do this, which is they'll work and prepare till 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
To sleep.
My friend Vidit Gujrati.
As well. Excellent idea, actually. And then you wake up at 12:30, quickly shower, run to the hall. Then you had no time to worry and you feel much better.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I tried once or twice to get to about 2:00, but I didn't manage. I always fell asleep. So I just used to my timings. But
that's awesome. That's awesome. You need some time in the evenings, but when I'm just comparing it to my main exams, right? When I had a big exam coming up in my school or my college, I used to be very nervous before giving it, and before 5 minutes of the exam, I would just prepare. I would just study roughly, okay, let's take in as much as I can. At what time does a professional chess player stop preparing? For example, like you specifically, at what time do you stop preparing? If there's a match, let's say tomorrow 5 p.m. At what time will you be like, okay, this is it, I am now just chilling, now I'll just go with the flow?
It depends. Some days I'll prepare till 4:50 and then just walk to the tournament hall. But sometimes if you feel, you may think, the later it goes in the tournament, by the 6th or 7th rounds, you've done your rehearsing for both colors again and again and again. And so by then you can start, even my trainer will tell me, stop it. At 1 hour before, you'll say, let's go for a walk, and then you go straight to the hall. Again, this attitude, what I said, which is the most healthy. You said, at some point you say, fine, if all this time I have not managed, I'm not going to do it now. Let's forget about what might happen and just go for a walk, talk about other things, and then go to the... I remember once Aruna Anand had this thing where he came to a tournament. He was very annoyed with his form in the last 3 or 4 events. So he came to the tournament and he refused to prepare. He said, I'm just not going to prepare. So the same opening I've been preparing again and again and again for so many years. Why should I check it again? I'll deal with it. And he brought some books and he was reading these books till half an hour before the game, and he was just going. And the funny thing is, it's not like he won the tournament, but I think he had a very decent result. So more often it's tension which kills you. And it's like school exams. You'll worry, you'll prepare for 100 questions, but only one will finally come. So the other 99 are wasted. So.
Yeah, I personally had that experience. It is, I can relate to you on a very, very small level because I played the tournament and I was preparing with Surya Ganguly. and he was teaching me all these incredible lines to play against e4, against d4, against c4, and then I got white in in the match. I had no preparation at all, so that
This is the
happened.
best second. The best second. It prepares you for the wrong color.
Because I had taken him as my mentor because he has been your second for a long time. I thought, how, let me also learn, but I could not. I learned some openings, some interesting variations. That's so beautiful about chess. There are so many moves. There are so many moves. Every time I get bored, no, I play a new opening. Chess is beautiful to me all over again. Like I've been playing Budapest Gambit now. Like I've been playing all these tricky lines. That's what is keeping me glued to chess. What about you? You've played everything, almost everything. So this is a very interesting question I want to ask you, is that so many people like Vladimir Kramnik, Gary Kasparov, they retired, they quit playing professionally at the age of around 40s. What kept you going? What kept your love for chess always constant, that I always want to play this, I always want to grind? So what do you think that is?
I liked playing. I mean, you don't only play for results, and once you take your things, you can stop. I genuinely liked the chess scene, and I didn't understand. I thought Gary quit way too early. Kramnik, at least, it made some sense, though he's 5 years younger than me, so I thought that's strange. But at least it made some sense. But Gary, I couldn't see why he quit. But the nice thing is he managed to stay away. He plays the occasional thing, but he already had other interests which took over very quickly. And then it's easier. It's much easier if you have something else waiting, and then you can start doing that. But I like playing. I like traveling also.
Yeah.
I like traveling. I like going to these tournaments. You meet the same faces, and there's a little bit of glamour and fun and all that involved. So, why stop if you can play? And that's basically it.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. It's just the love of chess, and that's the beauty. Like I think even after playing so many games, even now you might find some moves in some position, and you'll be like, "Wow, this is such a beautiful move." I never thought of this. Do you have those moments now? Like, of course you have, but I just want you to say that yes, you do.
Yeah, yes, I do. It's all the time now because computers and every generation of computers also will show you some interesting thing. And now the challenge is trying to make sense of all of it, because they just come up with so much new stuff. But the really interesting question is when you understand why it's hidden. It's really hidden somewhere, the explanation.
Yeah.
The difference between two moves is very deeply hidden, and you have to go back and forth, especially in positions which transpose, and there's only one minor difference. When you find that hidden difference, then you feel wonderful, because as if you've understood the whole thing and it makes sense. That sort of thing is nice. Nowadays, it's very easy to study chess. Yeah. You can almost have infinite areas to study. Even areas once upon a time, if I had to work on something I had never worked on, it'd be very difficult because you feel you're wasting a lot of time. Now, because you have a computer, at least you're on the right path, and the only problem is understanding what's going on.
Yeah. I've been using a lot of engines to improve my openings. I've been playing Queen's Gambit a lot, which leads me to the next question. Ma'am, have you watched the Queen's Gambit?
Yeah, of course.
How did you find it? You enjoy it? Did you feel relatable? I also play chess now, and I also crush the world.
I don't know about crushing the world, but yes, maybe it kind of the thought did cross my mind, and maybe the Graphy came so close on the heels of Queen's Gambit. I think it was a great opportunity for me to kind of, one thing is to want to do something, and one thing is actually doing it. So this kind of bridged both. I think they depicted chess very, very well. And I was happy that the ending was very nice. It was not that she goes
Don't give a spoiler, ma'am. Don't give a spoiler. What if there are people who haven't watched the end?
Oh, okay. But what really got me was we have friends, who are not alive anymore, but who have played chess in the 50s. And the way they discovered chess, described chess to us, how chess was played in the United States, this kind of matched that 100%. The way the opens were and the kind of hotels they played it in, and all that kind of matched 100%.
Yeah, so many things that even I got to know that so many positions that were shown in the game were actually
Yeah,
positions from the real games. The Tartak
sure,
over
sure, sure, sure.
match, and
Yeah, ready to talk
yeah,
over.
yeah, it was
Good
too good.
man.
See, I'm improving,
Also,
sir.
Aruna is an attacking player off the board,
Off the board.
and I'm an attacking player on the board. So I think she enjoyed Beth's style.
Yeah. But ma'am, honestly, have you been playing any openings? Have you been learning proper, like experimenting with openings yet?
No, no. My chess guru said that is in Graphy number 2, so I'll wait for that.
But between the two of you, who's more patient? I mean, it requires patience from both ends, right? One of you guys is like fabulous chess player. One of them, is not as good. But who patience is required on both ends now for you to and slowly get it. So who do you think is more patient out of? Yeah, I would like to ask
I
this to
think
Aruna,
the
ma'am.
patience in our relationship is highly circumstantial. So, depending on the circumstance, that particular spouse can be very patient.
There is
Right?
something more in this, ma'am. I want to
That's
know
fair.
what it is. Uh,
So, for instance, like if Anand is playing a tournament, I can be very patient. He can say anything, he can, irritate me as much as he wants, and I will be very patient. But moment that closing ceremony is over, he knows he's done for. So many times, like, he's aware, like the good times are going to end once the closing ceremony ends, and then it's harakiri.
Harakiri.
But many times Anand is more patient because I think he can not react to situations, whereas maybe I need to react to situations. Like there can be we have not made the flight, and he can be, yeah, it's okay, we've not made the flight. Oh, I have a new in chess, maybe I can sit and read it. And I'm like, we can't, don't make the flight, we won't make the connection. Oh, okay, that is also could be a problem. So
Yeah.
like I said, patience is highly
Both ways,
circumstantial.
circumstantial. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And ma'am, between all these travel, between all this, going here and there for tournaments, how do you think it is? We want to know. Everyone wants to know. How have you raised Akhil? How has it been? How is it going? What effect it has had on him?
I think by the time Akhil was born, I was not traveling. Like the moment Akhil was born, I didn't travel that much. I was going for the odd tournament and the world championships. So, like
Oh,
basically, if it's a very important tournament or the world championship, we've taken him on some things, but mainly they are like exhibition events and things like that. We've taken him because I don't think it's right to take a child to a chess tournament because daddy is busy and he has his routine. We can't disturb that, and the child is on a holiday, so it's not right on
is-
both of them.
yeah, yeah.
So I think Anand would feel really bad that he can't spend time with Akhil, and Akhil will wonder what's wrong with
What's happening?
daddy at home seems very happy, and here he seems so grumpy all the time. So I think it's not right because okay, while you're at a chess tournament, it it almost needs to 200% of your energy, and okay, it's not right to disturb that also.
Yeah.
But I think Akhil, he really enjoys having Anand at home, and I think this long break, he's kind of used to the fact that Anand is just at home. Because normally, like after 2.5 weeks, the suitcase will come out, and immediately he'll come running and say, "Amma, where is Appa going?" And then his ears are highly tuned to any conversation regarding Anand's trip. But now he's like he understands that daddy has nowhere to go till the vaccine comes, and this he's very clear about. So he keeps asking because once the vaccine comes, two things will happen. Daddy can start traveling and online school will finish. So these two things are, he's highly tuned to these two frequencies.
Is he not enjoying online classes like so many people in my friend
I
list?
think yes and no. I think children enjoy the online classes because they get to eat a snack before one class, snack after the class. I think all that they can't do in school because he goes through like 6 snacks a day. And I always wonder what did he do in school, sitting there for 4 or 5 hours? What was he doing? But also, I think they enjoy this thing of you are in an online class, and then suddenly the mother is coming to the frame, and then there's a father coming into the frame. Then there's one grandfather coming and seeing what's happening. But okay, it's a very very tough time for the children. Really, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, honestly.
mentally they're under just so much of stress that I think, however they can deal with it, they should be just allowed to deal with it and, not pressurize them more into it.
Yeah. Online life has become tough. Good for chess, not good for a lot of people. That is the common sentiment. I'm very happy because it's doing good for chess. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Yeah. So coming to some serious questions. Serious to me, maybe it might be a joke to you, sir. But I want to ask you some questions regarding to chess. Like, one sec. There's a call. Okay, I'm just ignoring it. um. w- One second. Yeah. So there's a very technical question here in the chat. What separates a world top 20 player? Like basically, what bridges that gap 2700 to 2750 plus? What is required over there? I mean, many I've heard many people say that until 2700 you can go with all theory and everything, but then you have to start becoming creative to bridge that gap. So I want to know from you, what is that main difference between a 2700 to 2750?
Probably it's just fine tuning stuff, but let's say resilience. First of all, at the highest level, people just never give up,
Yeah.
and they look for every last chance. And it's like you make a mistake, you can lose a winning position, all that kind of stuff. And their tenacity and resilience goes up a lot. Second thing, as you pointed out, creativity. I mean, everyone can get up to a certain point with theory, but there are some gambles you'll have to take at the board to break out. And at the very top, they're better than that. And maybe just some practical ability. If you watch a 2750 player analyze with the 2650 player, it's not clear which one understands chess more. That is not evident. But at the board, somehow the stronger player is making the right decision here or there. The more practical decision, the more, the one that gave him better odds. It's a combination of little things rather than any one big reason.
So, if to summarize it, it's just resiliency and maybe stamina to just play and to think of such brilliant moves one after the other, to just think of the best moves. Sometimes I see your games, I see old Tal's games, and I see these wonderful ideas, and I can't think of those because I am like I try to emulate, and then one day sometimes it happens. I saw your game against Aruna and I was like, what a brilliant idea! Just two pieces are hanging, hang one more, and I applied them in my games. 6 blunders in that game, 6 blunders. So I think it takes a lot of time to truly understand how to make a proper move, when is the correct time to sacrifice. And so many, all of us, we got interested into chess. So many people through watching Agadmator's videos, who makes simple analysis videos, who shows these beautiful ideas, some beautiful checkmates, some beautiful positions. So I want to ask you this, sir, that has it ever happened that you lost a game, but you lost it with the opponent played such beautifully that you were like, wow, maza aaya?
I can't remember that easily because invariably, even when my opponent played at a very high level, by that point I figured out where I'd made the mistake.
Yeah.
I'd gotten angry with myself, and then it clouds it a bit. And the thing about chess is it's difficult till it's easy. It's difficult till you look at your own game, till you understand what happened, it's difficult. But then suddenly you see what happened and you see it quite clearly. And after that, there is no mystery left almost. So I more often kick myself at the end rather than praise my opponent. It's been a long time, and I'm not even able to be very objective in this area.
Yeah, I mean, this question comes from the fact that I had seen Bobby Fischer's movie and I read about him. So apparently there was a game in which Boris Spassky just starts applauding him. Game 6, I think, and the applause, is it game 6?
Yeah, but Spassky was kind of special because I think he was really fond of Bobby as well. This is one of the things that Spassky really felt like a kindly elder brother to Bobby, which means he also allowed him to get away with a lot of his tantrums. So there are other parts to this drama.
Yeah, for sure. And who better to ask such stories about than you? You have played with so many people. One of my favorite ever was Mikhail Tal. Obviously, I love his games. So, can you tell us some interaction, something you had, with him? I think you played a game with him. I had seen it on Acadmeter's channel. So, any fond memory you have?
Well, quite a few. There's when after I became World Junior Champion, then I became Grandmaster. I got an invitation to be commentator in Brussels. They were having the Swift World Cup at that point. That is not the FIDE World Cup. So it was just the name of the tournament. But it had Karpov, Kasparov, Korchnoi, Lubo, all the legends at that time. Absolute strongest event held at that point. And the sponsor was a very nice person called Besselcock. And he invited me as a commentator, just on the cuff. He said, why don't you come and be a commentator? That's great. Then I don't even have to play. No, I can just go and watch these guys and have a good time. And a couple of days I was co-commentator along with Tal. So when I say commentator, you should remember that we are moving pieces on big magnetic boards and talking to a live audience, but essentially same thing. And so, I just become a grandmaster, and here is Tal. I mean, even leaving aside his achievements, that is the beauty of his play, no?
Yeah.
So you get to say, I think this, and I think this, and what do you think? So I had a very good time. I mean, you got to pretend you were with them. And he was a very nice man. He was someone who's genuinely completely in love with chess. I mean, Aruna says, I leave my contracts in my clothing. Tal had usually carried all his money around with him.
Oh.
So he would get his fee for the tournament, he'd leave it in his own pocket. And very often, there are many stories of those days where somebody would ask Tal, can they'd have coffee or they'd buy a newspaper, and Tal would pull out some $5,000 and look for the $1 bill to pay the coffee. These kinds of stories are legend with Tal. On top of that, he loved Blitz, because so any fan who would come to him and say, shall we play some Blitz, he would agree, and he would play. They would pull up a chair and just start playing.
Damn, I wish I was born then.
I know. And so he was a very kind person. Most people, I can't think of anyone who has a negative word to say about him.
Wow.
He is genuinely just a nice person. And he was very kind to me, so I remember that. Later on, I beat him, but it's the most sick. He was so ill at that point that even while beating him, you kept on telling yourself, no, this is not him, this is not him. But and there are quite a few tournaments where I got to interact with him, and
it's
nice, very nice memory. Spassky also. I got to interact with Spassky a lot because he's still alive.
Yeah.
And he was a complete bon vivant. He could enjoy his life, and so cynical. All his observations about the world are so cynical. It sounds funny, but he was a very
even Fisher. No, even Fisher had a lot of cynical views about chess in general. No, he was like.
Yeah, but not cynical. He genuinely believed them, and he was very sincere. I think Spassky is a person who was much wiser than Bobby. Bobby was innocent. For him, the world was straightforward in a way. I play chess well, things will work out well. Chess is beautiful, that's all I need. It's a very simple way of looking at the world. Whereas Spassky, he understood communism, he understood how the sports committee worked, he understood this and that. And for him, I think chess was one part of the whole thing.
I was talking more of the old Fisher. Like I had seen some interviews of him, old, and he's just hating the games. Like this chess is just, what does it become now? It used to be fun. There's so much theory and all of that. He was saying that Fisher random is more. He was better than the standard chess, and he'd become completely against the concept of playing chess. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I guess people get to that stage when they get disillusioned, and And even Fisher, for all his genius, one day the world was going to catch up with him. That's inevitable.
Of course.
And,
Yeah.
I think he found it very hard to take.
Yeah, so that's a very nice segue to the next. Every question is just falling in place, Sir, the world catches up, right? The next generation always catches up. So, who do you think, honestly, is the next Indian future? I mean, like the bright Indian future. Who do you think?
Well, right now it's Hari and Vidit, and they're close. And then there's a good generation of young talents. Nihal, Prag, Raunak, Gukesh. And this year during the Olympiad, for instance, we found so many of our female talents. Divya, Vantika, Vaishali. So a lot of youngsters, but there are just so many more, and I almost feel guilty because then you
GM
want to
Avish
list all of them.
Matthew.
Men, no. Oi. Yeah, he played that game not so badly, no?
Sir, please.
Okay, good.
Oh,
So now we have lots of talent, but then the question is, how do they get to the next stage? How do they break through?
Yeah.
And that's maybe the next big step, because we really have a lot of talent.
A lot of it.
But somehow to streamline them a bit more.
Yeah. We have to Indian chess is so booming only, and with more tournaments, we are seeing this. Sagar is doing this tournament with all the youngsters. We are seeing so many new talents. That's such a beautiful thing to do, and I think more activity should happen, more tournaments should happen on a wide scale. Because now suddenly, ma'am, don't you see this trend is happening? Everyone's like interested in the Indian chess scene. Suddenly, oh my God, India is this. Yeah. So that's beautiful. Like many people, I included, have got to know so many more players. Like earlier, we just knew Vishy Anand, because of course, who does not know? Today I was flexing to my barber. He had come home from Urban Clap, and he was like, well, "You're getting a haircut done?" I was like, "Yes, I am a YouTuber." And then he was like, "Okay, what do you do?" I'm like, "Do you know Viswanathan Anand?" Like, of course I know Viswanathan. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm streaming with him today." He was like, "Okay, I'll give you the nicest haircut," and then he did this to me. Oh man. So we are kind of reaching the end, guys. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. There's so many questions I want to ask. Uh, does okay. These are very difficult to ask questions, like who do you think will be the next world champion and all. We'll keep something more answerable easily. Let me search some more questions. I have a lot of questions. Okay. Many people are asking questions to Aruna ma'am. Whose dartboard is that? We already answered that for us. How to bounce back from a tilt? Okay. Sir, do you want to answer that?
Well, accept it and then go for the next one. And the thing is not to lose heart, not to lose your confidence.
Yeah.
Most other things of course, you will have to work and fix it, but losing your confidence is much harder to fix. That's why accept it and move on.
Go ahead with it. Yeah. Ma'am, there's a very question that a manager who has dealt with all the invoices and everything will know. So many people are asking, how is there enough money in chess? I mean, not just in the top level. I mean, in general, like if, for example, if a person wants to become a chess player, how does he convince his parents that, I want to do this, this has a good financial thing also, like,
I think in most careers today, there is no way of knowing that you're going to make it, and there's a huge pot of money at the end. I can say from Anand's career, it was a lot of hard work and a lot of God's grace that, the right results came at the right time. And I think for Anand's parents, it was not easy to, make him an international player, because his father was a government servant and they had limited means. But I think the people who are really talented, the really gifted ones, always break through.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, there is hope for you. You're really gifted. I didn't say in what, but you're really gifted.
Thanks to Samay, chess has become a complete joke.
Oh
And
my
you're
God.
telling me that now I should learn chess.
I think Samay is thinking, Vishy, stay away from comedy. But anyway.
Yeah. Chess players are so funny. It's unbelievable. Ma'am, is he a very jovial person at home? Because I had never imagined,
Oh,
long ago.
Anand.
Yeah.
Anand is actually he's very witty, and he's actually more extroverted than me. Very tough to this thing, but I'm very happy staying at home. But he's the one who'll say, "Let's go out, meet people," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to. It's okay. Let's just stay home." And
Okay, when we got married, it was that opposite.
I think there's so much of staying together, no, it's rubbed
Yeah.
off on each other. But
You were the one convincing me to start, and then I reminded you, hey, you told me.
no, but he's actually quite witty, and when he was small, he was actually a very mischievous child. He was very tough to control at home.
So like, does he ever, like, when you are upset, does he try to make a joke and get get your attention back or anything?
No, there he's a very astute chess player. He waits patiently to see what your next move is.
Oh man. But is he because one person asked me, let me ask this to you, sir. Sir, how many days have passed since lockdown?
9 months, yeah.
Yeah. And one person has said, sir remembers that there were 6 months plus 1 days in lockdown, but does not remember the anniversary date back long ago. That thing when you had said that the number was...
Yeah. No, trust me, I remember that story all too well. But really, they used to round off ratings to 5 and 10.
Okay, this is honest mistake on your end. Okay. How did you celebrate? Oh, this is a very nice question. What has been the difference between celebrating when you were younger and now? Like, I'm sure there must be some crazy difference, right? Was there?
Celebrating what?
Like a victory, like a big victory, in a match, like going, just as a youngster, you don't have much control over your emotions, right? You're just... Was it like that? Like, did you celebrate like an extrovert, or did you just sleep with it?
I think as time went by, I celebrated a lot, and both of us would know that when a good event came along, a good result, then we were so happy. And we'd compare it to the bad events that we had endured, and we thought, it's so different this time. And we'd be grateful. No, in both ways. In one way, you learned that when the bad times are really bad, then when the good times come, you shouldn't let go of them so quickly. Yeah. And you should appreciate that also. Maybe in the beginning, I took my success maybe slightly more for granted when I was very young. Or not, maybe that's not what I want to say, but you think success, yeah, you deserve it, but failure was undeserved. But now you know that when you get a success, enjoy that moment. When you have a happy moment, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to run around telling everyone, but you have to feel it inside and enjoy it.
Yeah, and I hope, guys, you also enjoy the Graphy. I'm very excited to follow the entire thing, and I really hope, Aruna, that you learn enough to beat me. It's
okay. I'll take you up on that challenge then.
It's a very easy challenge, I'm telling you. And
my guru has to get to work. Please tell my guru.
Please, sir. It would be incredible if we can have a match by the end of it. Aruna ma'am versus me. It would be epic if she could defeat me, because I've been training with Surya Anguli. I'm telling you, I'm 1600 now.
I'll study Surya's games and I'll get you.
But thank you.
I'll just call Sudeshna and have a word with her.
But thank you so much, both of you, for taking out time from your schedule, and I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun. Audience got to know so much more about you both. I got to know so much more about you both, especially the dartboard that sir likes to play darts, and I hope to see you on my stream also, and on very excited to see more graphies, more brands, more events around chess in India, especially in the lockdown. So shout out to COVID, and thank you so much for joining. I hope you had fun, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
तो दोस्तों ये थे, एक सेकंड आ रहा हूँ मैं यार, ये थे दुनिया के वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट लेजेंड्स ऑफ चेस, सर विश्वनाथन आनंद। भाई मेरे को तो बहुत मज़ा आया भाई। I was very nervous, I was very nervous because, they are two very, very sweet, very, very important, very, very big couple of India. And one of them was the world champion, man, 5-time world champion. So I was very nervous, but I hope you had fun, you got to know a lot. मेरे को तो बहुत मज़ा आया। चैट में क्या चल रहा है? कैसा किया? मस्त किया? ऑकवर्ड हो गया था ना मैं? सही था? मेरे को बहुत मज़ा आया। सच बताओ यार। तब से फ़ोन आ जा रहा था मेरे, बट आई डिडंट आंसर इट। मैं तो बहुत घुस गया था यार इंटरव्यू में, मेरे को मज़ा आया। तुम लोग अच्छा लगा? नर्वसनेस दिख रहा था? हाँ दिख रहा होगा ऑफ कोर्स। तुम लोग करो ये मेरी जगह पे आओ, यू स्टेप इन माई शूज एंड यू इंटरव्यू वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट प्लेयर्स ऑफ ऑल टाइम एंड टेल मी इफ यू वोंट बी नर्वस। यू वर शाय, यस आई वाज शाय, बट या गाइस आई होप इट देयर वाज सम गुड मोमेंट्स ऑल्सो। मेरे से तो क्या ही सीखा तुमने, पर a lot of things that both of them said. I hope you learned something from it. And guys, check out Graphy. The Graphy is live. Another episode is coming. One episode is already there, and it's in the description. If you guys go, it'll be epic. But all the people who are here, just subscribe. We'll be doing more of these with more players. Let us know in the comments if you want to see any more players with whom we can do this. We will do that. बस यही करना था। और Red Bull नहीं है भाई, ये है label-less orange juice, because no promotions, guys. With that, guys, bye bye, take care, see you, tata, bye bye.